Hello all, welcome back to Editorial Analysis and Answer Writing Practice at 9 pm. Friends, if you are watching this video series for the first time, then please watch my intro video given in the playlist to know how to participate in this answer writing program. The demand for caste-based census is gaining more momentum across the country, starting from the opposition parties and even the allies of the ruling coalition. They are demanding a nationwide caste-based census. The push came after the release of Bihar caste-based census data, which also highlighted that more than 80% of the Bihar population they come under backward category. In this backdrop, several newspapers were carrying editorial on analyzing the caste-based census. So recently also Indian Express was carrying a detailed article on this topic. So our discussion will draw more points from the Indian Express article, and also I'll be taking more points from the article written by Mr. Ashokvardhan Shetty, former IAS, a senior bureaucrat, who has written an article in the Hindu, and Ashokvardhan Shetty sir is the faculty member of Officers IAS Academy as well. Right, so from his article also I have drawn a lot of points. So all these points I will try to arrange from our exam point of view. Right. First we will try to understand what is this census. Census, put it simply, it is a decadal exercise. Once in 10 years, the population will be counted. It is simply an head count. Okay, the total population in the country will be measured. So while measuring the population, some more information will also be gathered to know the progress achieved by the population, people in the country. What is caste-based census? So in this population census, another tabulation will be added where the caste of the people will also be taken into account, will also be noted. So by getting the caste-based census, we will come to know the proportion of castes in the overall population. So how many come under backward classes, how many come under scheduled caste, all those information will be gathered. See, in India, the population census is being carried out once in 10 years since 1881. Britishers, since 1881, once in 10 years, that population census exercise they started. Every 10 years they used to do. So Britishers, while doing the population census, they were also getting the caste-based data. So from 1881 till 1931, Britishers were collecting the caste-based data also. But after independence, since 1951, we started collecting, we started doing the census, population census, we started conducting. But since 1951, after independence, the government took a conscious decision not to take the caste-based information. But however, the representation of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, that was calculated. Since 1951, we have the data of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, their share in the total population, that data we have. But we consciously took a decision not to get the data of the other castes. Right. So the latest data which we have about the overall caste distribution from all the categories is 1931 data. Keep it in mind. Now, based on 1931 data, in 1979, Mandal Commission, the commission was set up to study about the backward classes. So, Mandal is the former Bihar chief minister. So, under his chairmanship, a commission was set up. The Mandal Commission, based on the 1931 data, suggested that more than 50% of population in the country, they come under backward community. So, they deserve a reservation of 27%. So this reservation, 27% recommendation, was based on 1931 census data. Then in 1990s, the government, they implemented this reservation. Remember, this reservation is based on 1931 data. Now from then, we see voices rising in different part of the country in demanding reservations or subcategorization. Previously also I explained about subcategorization of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. Different regions, different dominant caste, they are raising their voices. So they feel that they are being grossly underrepresented. So there is a voice, we are able to see a rise in voices of several groups. For example, Marathas, they are looking for reservation. Patel community, they are looking for reservation. So in different states, we see a rise in need, rise in voice for reservations. So if you want to scientifically address their demands, see, in the process of addressing the reservation demands, we have to take a scientific stand. So only when we have a proper data, When we have proper data, if they are grossly underrepresented, yes, reservation can be provided, either sub-reservation or exclusive reservation, something can be given. But without data, see, from 1931, we are almost 100 years, we have crossed almost 100 years. The demography would have been changed. The representation of different caste in the overall population would have been altered. With 1931 data, if we are going to plan our reservation policies, that might lead to inclusion and exclusion errors. Yes or no? So we need to have a proper scientific data. Only with the data, we can ensure the reservation policies are effectively delivered. So data is important, right? And also, if you want to manage something, you need to measure it. Without measuring something, you cannot manage, right? So our constitution has obligations for the government to take affirmative actions for improving the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, to improve the to improve the socially, educationally backward classes. So government has the obligation to develop them. We are a welfare state. But when government wanted to develop, government needs proper data. So without measuring, we cannot manage. Now you might think, sir, for ensuring social justice, we need schemes, welfare measures. Why we should have a census information? You might ask. We'll take the example of Germany. In Germany, they conduct a population census. The population census, they don't get the information based on races, right? Representation of white, representation of black, they don't take that information. They simply get the head count, okay? So recently what happened, the blacks from the Germany, they organized a private census, which is called as Afro census. In that Afro census, the private census, we came to know that the blacks were grossly, inadequately represented in the various services of the government, right? So if you are not having a proper data, then the growth which we achieve, that will not be inclusive. So data is important, right? For effectively implementing the affirmative action, data is important. We have legal constitutional obligation to uplift the backward community, so data is important. Administratively, data is important. To ensure to deliver this reservation, there should not be any inclusion exclusion errors. If inclusion exclusion error means, see, there are some communities, they might not deserve reservation. If they are included, that is an error. There are communities which deserve reservation. If they are excluded, that is an error. So there's administrative reasons, and we have moral obligation. For thousands of years, different sections of the communities, they are being discriminated, marginalized, excluded, grossly underrepresented. They are not able to come to the positions of power. Even within the backward communities, some sections, some communities within the backward communities, able to understand, right? Within the backward classes, there are some dominant classes, they continuously hijack the benefits of reservation. So others are not able to get the benefits. So to ensure that inclusiveness in the development process, definitely we need proper data, right? At the same time, this collection of data also comes up with some issues and challenges. For example, collection of such caste-based information can create more social divisions. We are in the process of nation building. India is in the process of nation building. We have to create the feeling of oneness. But this caste-based information can further divide the society. It can affect the social fabric, right? Similarly, this can affect the social cohesion. This division can affect the solidarity which is prevailing among the societies. It can affect the social cohesion. It can create more social divisions. Many political parties, small political parties, right, communities, caste-based political factions, to further their political mileage, they can use these numbers, they can improve their bargaining power, they can further divide the society. That's a possibility which we cannot deny, right? So, and this can result in increased need for reservations also. Many people, after knowing their actual representation, there can be a rise in voice for the increased reservations. Maybe after getting the data, if government is revising the reservation policies, that is going to create a lot of challenges. Some sections will be benefited, some sections they were enjoying rights that can be deprived. Right? Only when we have data, we can rightfully give the reservation, but this is going to create a lot of chaos in future. This can create new challenges which can further divide the society. Right? Hate speeches can rise, we do not know. Similarly, there is a movement which is looking for creating India into a casteless society. We want to move towards a casteless society. Now this caste-based census can reverse the tasks of people who are trying to achieve the casteless society. So all these are issues with respect to collection of caste-based data. Sir, what to do, sir? What is the way forward? Right? What is the suggestion? What is the solution? What we can do? See, number one, you have to understand very clearly, in the in the regular census, in the population census, don't think only head count will be done. Don't think only number of total people will be counted. That is not the only thing in the population census. Along with the population head count, we will get religious information, linguistic information, regional information. Remember, when compared to caste, region, religion, linguistic divisions are more divisive. When compared to caste system, these are more divisive, and already we are collecting these informations. Now, by collecting these informations, do you think that this information alone is creating a lot of divisions in the country? By adding one more tabulation for caste-based information, how is this going to create further divisions? Or just imagine if we stop collecting regional data, language-based data, religion-based data. So, if we stop collecting religion-based data, do you think that the religious divisions will be diluted? Definitely no. Definitely no. See, we have constitutional obligation. Reservation is one tool which is used to ensure social justice, which is used to address the social faults which was committed on certain sections of society. We do not have any other tool to address this. Till we find any other tool to address this gross injustice, we have to continue with these reservation policies. Now, while continuing these reservation policies, if this has to be effectively implemented, if the reservation benefits are being hijacked by certain dominant sections, then the purpose of reservation will not be achieved. So, if the reservation benefits has to be inclusive, then definitely we should have proper data. At the same time, in the name of collecting data, if we are going to have a randomized questions, for example, in 2011, government collected socio-economic caste census. In that census, caste-based data was also collected. Right? In that collection, the questionnaire was not good. There was a lot of issues in the questionnaire. Even the enumerators, those one who will be collecting the information from the people, their interpretation on the caste information was also affecting. Right? Their influences was adding more flaws into the data. That is why 2011 caste census was not released. So, if we are going to collect the caste data, and in the collection process, if the enumerator's interpretation, if it is getting involved, in the collection process, if the question is not properly devised, then the data is going to be more flawed. Now, based on the data, if we are going to come up with policy measures, the policy measures will be completely wrong, it will be completely chaotic. So, we should have a scientifically designed questionnaire. With the help of sociologists, anthropologists, we have to create questions. Right? And similarly, today we have gadgets, we have internet connected handheld devices. There can be prefixed questions. Based on that, let us get the information. There should not be any scope for the interpretation of the enumerators while collecting the data. So, proper questions, scientifically collected data. Based on that, we can understand the real needy sections. Accordingly, reservation can be implemented. But however, without such scientific information, if we are going to implement this caste-based census and based on 1931 data, if we are going to do this caste-based census, then that is going to be really divisive. That can definitely go against the nation building process only. It can create a huge social division in the society. Right? And now tell me, what is your opinion? Already we are getting language based data, religion based data, region based data. By adding one more tabulation, by getting a caste based data, do you think that this is going to create more division in the society? What is your opinion? Right? Forget about the exam, forget about the question which I am going to give. What is your opinion? Give in the comment section. Right? We will see what is your comments. Okay. So now I hope you got some clarity from exam point of view. We have analyzed the pros and cons. What we have to do also we have suggested. So keep this in mind. Now based on our discussion, I will give you a question. Do you agree with the view that conducting caste census in India will aggravate social divisions in the country by creating a new caste consciousness? It will be a 10 marker question. So plan your answer accordingly. You are expected to write 150 words. Right? It is just 10 marks. Don't write too much. Don't set my narrative. Say what is your opinion. Right friends, I will see you tomorrow with another interesting editorial discussion. Till then, bye. Take care.